Good morning and welcome back to White Mountains Today here on White Mountain TV 16. Joining us in the studio, Lori Stearns and Melanie Levitt, and we're going to talk about all sorts of great art in Jackson.
Yes.
So what's the scoop, Melanie? Give us the whole scoop.
I'll give you the scoop. We have Jackson Art Studio and Gallery, and we have a show coming up. So it's a week from, well, it's this Friday, coming up Friday the 13th. So we'll be featuring all local artists.
Well, that's great. And look at the stuff that you have, you brought in today. And this is, I imagine, just a smattering.
Yes, just a small selection. Yeah.
And you said the majority are local artists.
Yep, the majority of artists in our studio and gallery are all local, and some of them are from, southern New Hampshire, but most of the ones here are actually from Mount Washington Valley.
Well, that's very cool. So when is the actual show itself?
We have a wine and cheese reception Friday night, it's November 13th, and then the show will continue over the weekend with artists demonstrating. We have June McLean will be doing some mixed media demonstrations on Saturday. Great. And Linda Gray will be doing some oil painting demonstration too, so on Sunday.
Well, that's great. So I want to point out, we want to point out some of these pieces of art because they are all phenomenal. So
shall I hold up
Lori,
some?
we'll let you start, and we're going to hold them up, and then we got Hans on the camera, so we know that's going to be working out smoothly.
This is a piece by Kate Curtis McLean, and it's mixed media. It's called
layers too. Layers different papers.
National Park in Green.
Yeah.
Very neat. No, and keep aim it right there. And let's keep with the national park theme. So we'll go with this one.
Okay. This is actually my piece done plein air style. So I set up my easel right outside. And this was done in the notch on the top of Elephant Head, so it's a short hike up, and then painted outside.
That's terrific.
So palette knife and oil paint, mostly, a little bit of brush.
That's great. Now, since we're looking at this one, let's actually, Hans, let's go to the one just up over Lori's head, which is also another Melanie Levitt, but a different style, which, of course, for me, is one of the, if I could do one style, I'd be very happy. But now you've got a different style. And then, as you said, it's a watercolor, but it's not just painting a watercolor. You painted it on glass first.
Yeah, it's what's called a monotype. So it's done on glass, and the paint's kind of dripped back and forth and wiped away. And then it's run through a press, and each print is an original. So you only get one from each, so it's not, like silkscreen where you would get multiple.
Right.
So that is called In the Clouds of Mount Chocorua.
Well, that's cool. I mean, it's just the amazing difference between them.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to go with a theme. Do you notice this? Let's go with another print here. But this is a different style of print again. So, Lori, you were explaining this earlier.
This is a print, and it's by Matt Brown, and he does a woodblock print process. That's a Japanese process, and creating one of these pictures, each color is a different carved woodblock, so there might be as many as 13 different carved blocks to create one print, and he limits his the image to about 300 prints, so it's a limited print process. Very complicated.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it would be very good. And when you told me that it's a bunch of different blocks, I figured it's just one and you just put the ink there, but it's quite amazing, the detail, especially showing up on TV. It almost looks like there's more detail.
And he has quite a collection of about, we have about 15 of his pieces. He's also going to be coming to teach a class at the studio too in the spring, so people can see and try this process. So I'm really excited to have him come.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we point out the ones that are over your heads there?
Sure. This piece is Rebecca Climateovitch. She is a wonderful abstract painter. So this is one of her mountain theme pieces, and she puts like a finish on, so you get that nice gloss effect. And she has quite a collection of very large pieces too in the gallery. And June McLean, this is one of her abstract pieces. She also does mixed media as well.
Yeah.
And June's another local artist that also teaches at the Bartlett School.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, so just a bunch of great things. So we've been focusing on some of the painting things. So let's look at a couple different things. We're going to try to get to all of these because they're all so great. And so this we have
Cole Scott.
a photograph.
Yeah, photo on metal. So he takes his photos, manipulates them in Photoshop and prints them on metal, so you get that luminescent kind of feel to it. And he has quite a few pieces that will fit our mountain theme for our show.
Yeah.
The mountains are calling, so that's one of his pieces. Beautiful.
That's terrific. And just and you can see by the way that, very narrow. So something that when you put it on the wall, it's not going to be hanging out that far.
People even put them
amazing.
outside in the summer, and they're scratch proof, and you can wipe them down with Windex, which is great too.
Wow, that's terrific.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, let's slide into some of yours, Lori.
Well, this is the piece that I have for the show, The Mountains Are Calling, and it's called Fall Leaves. I'm not sure how reflective that's going to be.
Aim it that way. And so that's a mosaic, which means?
It's a mosaic. It's made up of individual little bits, and this particular piece is made out of gold pieces and different colored glass, Venetian glass. And
So you just take a big piece of glass and break it, do you?
The glass pieces come specifically for mosaic, and they come in little squares, a lot like the professional tile that you see that would be in floors, and so it's made specifically to break up.
Okay.
And, but it's all cut. Each piece is cut specifically for. So a piece like this would take me about 30 hours to make.
Wow.
And,
Wow. Now, so along with that, you've got the mosaics, but then you take it a step further, and obviously these are not square pieces here.
No, these are not. And this is a piece. This is my puppy Jack, and I'm doing commissioned pet and people portraits in mosaic.
And that's amazing. When you brought that in, I at first just thought it was a painting or a photograph, and then, but as you can see, Hans is zooming in there. It's all little pieces.
All small pieces, yeah.
And how long would a piece like that take you?
This takes me about 20 hours to complete.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like I'm teaching a class this weekend right now, and it's a beginner class, and they are creating beautiful pieces of it's a pet portrait class, and it's amazing. They're working. It's on a clear substrate, so you can see through the base that you're applying the tile to, so you can see a photograph underneath, and you use that.
It's like paint by numbers.
It is very much like paint by numbers.
Except you're breaking the tiles.
Oh, yeah. Which is extremely satisfying.
And tell them about your other class, too, that you'll be doing.
I'll be doing a
for
pre-Christmas
holidays.
class. It's a mosaic class, and it's with pieces of broken pottery and creating a simple square mirror. So that is that process is going to be about a 3-hour process. Much quicker, but you get a beautiful broken tile mirror.
Oh, that's great.
Picking your own colors, and older kids can do that as well as adults. So
Yep.
That's terrific. Well, we'll point out, we've got a whole bunch more. Hans, if you just want to zoom down on the bottom ones, and you guys can just see what Hans is zooming in on. Those two are actually very similar.
yeah, this one is Linda Gray, who again is another Mount Washington Valley artist who shows her work. She's an oil painter, and she will be doing a demonstration, so you can see how she builds up a painting on Sunday, November 15th from 11 to 5. So she paints from plein air as well, paints outdoors and from photos, and she does beautiful work. This other piece in the birch frame is Mary Howe, who has lived in Jackson a very long time, and she is my painting buddy. We hike around and paint. This one she did in studio, and she's been painting for about 10 years or so, and she's a great painter.
And that's an image from Carter Notch.
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, just the variety of stuff that you have here, obviously, and like you say, there'll be a lot more.
Oh yeah, this is just, we have, we'll probably have hundreds of pieces, about 100. We also sell cards, so they'll be kind of smaller pieces. This is Janet Gill, and Marnie Cobbs. We'll have some nice prints, so you can get stuff for $20 too. We'll also be having a wall of affordable art, and everything will be under $200. So all different processes and types of art. So that'll be part of the show, so people can, you know, get things that are less expensive as well.
That's great. Now, if you can't make it to the show,
If you can't
when,
make it,
when can you go?
Well, we're open on weekends, so you can check our website for hours, but we'll be open most weekends, definitely every Saturday from 11 to 5. So we're open as a gallery every weekend, and we have a ton of classes that are up on our website, like Lori's class. We'll have other make your own holiday gift classes, as well as our very popular sip and paint classes. So
I know many people. There's some sip and paint participants there. I know quite a few people who've done that.
Yes, that's a lot of
Everybody
fun.
always has a good time.
Yeah.
And so how do you describe your location?
Our location is 1 mile from Jackson Village on your way to Wildcat, so take Route 16. The easiest way is 2.8 miles from Storyland, and you'll see a big colorful sign up on the right, Jackson Art, and we'll be there. If it's during the week, I'm there painting sometimes, but we take people by appointment too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
And you can so you can also learn it. You can learn how to paint. You can see paintings and buy paintings and
and we have lots of after-school classes for kids too. The kids are the greatest to paint with, and they did some beautiful fall landscape paintings. And also high school kids on Thursday nights we have a teen open studio. So
that's great.
Yeah.
And then when is the sip and paint?
The sip and paints happen, we have them all through the month, so we have on our website a calendar, and you can kind of see when they are. We usually have one Friday and Saturday nights. Lori and I, we both create our own paintings for our sip and paint, so we don't teach each other's.
Yeah.
So unlike some of the sip and paint studios that are the franchises, we actually create our own. So
that's terrific.
Yeah. So Lori will be doing a ton over Christmas vacation week.
I will. For
Every
all
day.
the folks up for Christmas vacation and having a break, they can come and paint with me during the day and in the evening. We have 2 different classes, and during the day it's going to be more children-friendly. Families and
She did a great moose image for kids too. That'll be fun.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for coming down today. So, of course, the open house is on Friday.
Yes, Friday with a wine and cheese reception from 6 to 9. Yeah.
So that would be the
Public
first thing
is
to check
welcome.
out. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Well, Lori, Melanie, thanks so much for coming down.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Rob.
And we'll be back here in a minute on White Mountains Today.
This is sustainable.